you out there who are planning your trips to Disneyland, but you're going to be needing either strollers or wheelchairs along with you. And since you've been reaching out a little bit more lately on Facebook particularly, I wanted to address some of the issues that you guys are going to have to face that a lot of other guests don't. First off, if you're going to be needing to rent either strollers or wheelchairs from Disneyland, they can be rented from the same location just east of the Disneyland Park main gates. I'm going to put a link in the description to their website so you can get the latest information on their pricing. Let's talk a little bit about strollers. If you're going to be bringing a stroller into the park, first off, no, you do not have to have one of Disneyland strollers. You can bring your own. Really, you can bring any size that you want, though I would not recommend bringing anything more than a double wide stroller. Personally, I would recommend that you bring just a single wide stroller, even if it has to be a longer one, because that's going to make it a lot easier for you to navigate through some of the narrower streets in Disneyland and through the crowds. You can pack whatever you'd like to on your strollers as well, though keep in mind that anything that you do have on your stroller still has to be inspected through security. So if you have a lot of stuff with you, especially if it's not necessary, it can slow your process way down because they have to check through everything. Most Disneyland attractions do not permit you to bring your strollers on with you except for shows. So in most instances, you're going to need to plan to park your stroller before you enter the line. There are a lot of designated stroller parking areas, notably right underneath the People Mover track in Tomorrowland, near the entrance to It's a Small World, down the center of the Walkway in Adventureland, or near the Rivers of America in front of Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a lot of other places as well. Those are just some of the larger stroller parking areas. Now this also plays into the don't pack so much on your stroller with you, because Disneyland does not employ cast members to keep track of the stroller parking areas, so they are not liable for any lost or stolen property. So make sure that you take few enough things that you can pretty much take anything that's important with you on the ride and leave the non-important stuff with the stroller. For guests traveling with wheelchairs, things get a little bit more complicated, as I'm sure that you are probably aware it would. Again, you do not need to use Disneyland's wheelchairs. You are free to bring your own into the park. For all guests with mobility disabilities that require either wheelchairs or electronic conveyance vehicles, or ECVs, Disneyland has 4 different types of accommodations on their attractions, and there are things that you need to be aware of. The first category requires guests to be ambulatory. This is a very small list, it does not include very much, and most of the attractions on the list also have alternate accessible experiences. Then there are those attractions that are both wheelchair and ECV accessible. So no matter how you're getting around the parks, you can get on those attractions without any problem whatsoever. There are also attractions that require you to transfer from an ECV to a wheelchair. They can accommodate wheelchairs on the attractions, but not ECVs. They will have some wheelchairs there for you if you need them, but you just need to be able to transfer from one to the other. Not a big deal. Lastly, there are those attractions that do require you to transfer from a wheelchair or ECV into the ride itself. But it doesn't mean that you cannot ride the attraction, you just can't do it in your wheelchair. Please keep in mind that cast members are not permitted to assist any guests transferring from one device to another. It's just not something that they're allowed to do. If you do need to transfer, there must be someone in your party that can help you do so. You can find out what attractions fit under which of these categories on the map, because there are symbols located next to each of the attraction names so you can know, or you can find them inside the Disneyland mobile app. If you click on an attraction, go to its information, and scroll down to the bottom, you'll find accessibility and other information, and it'll provide all the information that you need right there. For guests in wheelchairs, Disneyland also offers what they refer to as the Disability Access Service. These are individualized services that generally permit guests to enter through the exit of an attraction. If you feel that you're going to be requiring these services, then you can inquire at either City Hall on Main Street or in the Chamber of Commerce at Disney California Adventure. I'm also going to put a link in the description to their website so you can get even more information to help you out. Whether you have a stroller or a wheelchair, there are a couple of things I'm going to ask you to do because it'll make your trip a lot less stressful, and it also always happens to the rest of us, and it gets frustrating sometimes. Please keep in mind how long your stroller or wheelchair is so that you are not bumping into the heels or the legs of the guests in front of you. Last time we were in Disneyland, we weren't waiting in line for the park more than 2 minutes before I got a stroller in my heels. Sometimes this happens because guests are just not aware. There are the rare instances where I think they do know what they're doing, just please be aware how large everything is. Also, to help traffic flow move a lot smoother, I would highly suggest that you not travel with your strollers next to each other, or wheelchairs. Strollers and wheelchairs do tend to travel much slower, and if you're traveling side by side, it makes it that much more difficult for other guests to get around you. So I would just ask that where possible, travel more in a single file line if you can. Traveling through Disneyland and Disney California Adventure is not always the easiest thing if you have strollers and especially if you have wheelchairs, so this is why Disneyland offers so many different services to help make your experience smoother and more enjoyable. So hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit more. Let me know if you have any questions, and keep those requests coming for any future videos. I have a lot in the works, guys, and they all come from your suggestions. So keep them coming in the comments below. Love hearing from you guys. Make sure you also check us out at DisneylandForever.com for more tips and tricks. You can follow us at our Instagram page if you want to know exactly when we're going to be in the parks, because we post on there all the time in the stories. But until then, we will see you next week. All right, bye.